It would be nice for Weibo to open up a Zir for themselves here, since Rookie has strayed away from that champion now for the entirety of the split.
Yeah.
And because IG do not want to give that champion over, things like the Taliyah become very, very enticing here for our first opener. But Pantheon, a jungler that still remains to be very powerful in the right hands, and if executed well in the first 10-15 minutes of the game, can lead to that massive snowball, and it's one that Tian would really like to be able to pilot. But as I say that, Rumble is the lock-in for Breeze.
They're going to make a pivot into the Rumble. So I'll be honest here, Raafaa. I think this plays into IG's hands. You're going to give over what potentially could be an Ornn or a Sion to TheShy, who has been able to play both the tanks and the carries at an extremely high level. And you're still giving options for IG to either take things like the Taliyah or even go for jungle here in this instance. You can still pick up the Pantheon on your side. And with a Gwen top side, now it's on Weibo and really Breathe. How is he going to be able to pilot this matchup in the early game to actually gain an advantage?
The last time that IG played against Weibo, one of those games that we saw in the replay files, was Wei absolutely destroying Tian in the early game off the Pantheon, finding that early invade after burning his flash, and just continuing to make Tian a non-factor. And now, Wei's gonna be like, hey Tian, do you remember what happened last time? I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah, Tian, you started off the game at like 6 minutes, 0-3 on Xin Zhao. That was a nightmare to watch, and really unfortunate for Weibo. And so, we get further into this draft. I think playing side lanes is a little difficult this game. You can see why they were taking the Taliyah away from IG, but with a Pantheon and TheShy on this Gwen, imagine that Breathe or Xiaohu have to be very careful about when and where they show up, because Gwen can chase them down once she's level 11 and has an item or two in her inventory.
I'm a little curious why IG didn't want to go for the Taliyah Pantheon combo outright, because the Gwen wasn't going to be threatened on being taken away, since you already knew that Breathe was playing Rumble and nothing else.
I think it's just to get counter. Just give them the ability to, like, give Rookie the ability to figure out what his matchup wants to be, right?
Sure.
So.
Poppy slammed for Tian. So this will be a way to at least stop Wei from being able to jump on him with that empowered W, if he can time the steadfast presence right.
Functionally, this Poppy is a flex for Tian and Crisp. Crisp is a nasty Poppy player. It is one of the very highly banned champions against Weibo. They very rarely get this champ available to them. So, getting some decent lockdown. I think you look at Weibo's squad and their ability to make picks with Poppy Dash, with Tian, or with this Taliyah from Xiaohu. You should be able to find individual members like this Orianna. It's a matter of whether or not they can actually coordinate that in advance and actually execute on the plan. So we get into the second phase of bans. Think Alistar, think Nautilus potentially in these bans for supports are going to be a little bit higher prio, since IG don't know where this Poppy's going.
Yeah.
More than likely going to spread the love on who and what roles they're targeting.
They still have to respect the fact that it could just still be a Poppy jungle, which is why they're eliminating some good support options here. Weibo are going to answer in suit, making sure that, well, if we can't get the Rel, then these guys will not get a chance to snag the Alistar for themselves. As right now, IG are very limited in engage, or at least hard engage right now. Pantheon can send it with a Grand Starfall, but that usually only works when you're super ahead and super durable off of item spikes. If you're trying to engage solo as a Pantheon, that goes as well as a solo Vi ultimate into the backline.
I was going to say Rakan, but it seems like they're going to ban that themselves. I've been missing Leona. I know that she's a bit too on the nose of where and how you'll find engagements. This could also just be from IG that they're going to go ahead and take Neeko on 4 and then let Gala see the rest of the composition and get a favorable bot lane matchup, since you know that Neeko can kind of smother a lot of lanes thanks to her kit. It's been the Kai'Sa ban away, so less dive available for IG. If they are going to go for an AD, if they want to go for a blind, I don't think Jhin is too bad. You'll struggle later into the Poppy, but I think the Deadly Flourish is really, really strong. Sivir, from what you're seeing right now, gets options to play, but okay, that's going to be the case.
At least you don't have the fear of the Alistar ruining your day, as Alistar can be very difficult to play around as Sivir. The on-the-hunt movement speed will give IG a burst for easier access in trying to just flood Weibo's Gaming's formation in these team fights. But this will open up now Weibo to force an option for Crisp.
So, where is this Poppy going? I like the Jhin. Talked about the range here from Weibo. If Xiaohu's going to move forward with the Weaver's Wall, if we're going to see this ultimate from the Equalizer in Rumble, then they can use the Deadly Flourish and play a little bit further away from the rest of their team. Catch someone like Rookie on this Orianna. And potentially whatever support is going to be here for Meiko. It's going to be Bard. Ooh. So we're getting the pressure onto some of the immobile members and a double-ranged bottom lane versus Sivir. So what matchups you got? I mean, Nico is fine, but you do not want to get caught out as the Bard versus a potential like Nico slam from Meiko.
The thing I'm still concerned about for IG is that they do not currently have a hard form of engage. And even though, oh, we went with Karma. Okay, well, Dimitri, IG don't have an immediate lockdown button on multiple members here. It is just, we're going to pop Mantra E for movement speed. We're going to pop on the Hunt Sivir, and everyone is just going to zoom on in. And maybe Wei finds a W onto multiple members, and that's a shockwave, and you know, that's what you're hoping for.
I'll be honest here, Mark. I think we got to simplify this very easily. How does Weibo kill these guys? On 2 items. Just, yeah, like, Karma's going to be giving a hell of a lot of shields. You're going to be having an immune Gwen. Pantheon's going to be very tanky with 2 items. Think Sundered Sky. He can go for Black Cleaver second if he really needs to. But the champions and the items that IG are going to be building, when they hit 2 and 3, they're going to have way too much HP for Weibo to burst them out very simply. So, I don't know. I see this draft, and yes, they don't have a form of hard engage, but Weibo are the ones that are forced to find picks, to make things happen, and to create early action in this game. And Bard needs to be highly, highly useful this game. Otherwise, I think IG came away with a really strong draft and a potential Game 1 victory here.
But what happens if they don't get ahead, Alk? What if they're not
Well,
able to...
if you lose early game, sometimes you lose late game. But we've seen IG, that doesn't matter. They can lose early game all they want.
True.
And they have the most entertaining games of the entire LPL.
It is fair. The last time these two teams met, even when Weibo had a massive lead early, they couldn't close the game out against IG, so we'll see if the story remains the same in their second and final bout here in the Rumble stage. Both compositions are locked in. It's our final series of Super Saturday. Let's hit the riff for Game 1 between Weibo and IG.
If you didn't know, Weibo is a huge social media platform, and IG is just a gaming org. How do IG have louder, very clearly louder Jaios than one of the biggest social media corporations in the world?
2 words. Jungle Diff.
There's no way Wei is the one that's bringing in the fans. Wei has been maybe bleeding some IG fans. Okay, true. Yeah. Rookie and TheShy, very popular players, obviously, for their history. Wow, look at this top side for Weibo. Triple face rush.
Because they know that IG
they're going to lack damage, right? They're going to get a ton of movement speed, but they're going to lack damage here. So I feel like you're going to get into an arms race versus IG. They're going to be ones winning here. Really important to see how TheShy plays out this early lane. And we're already seeing that double-ranged matchup here for IG. Meiko and Gala trying to get into the face. You can very easily trade in the mini wave with the Sivir. Holy crap!
Fan vote is massive. 92%. My goodness.
They lose Game 1.
Oh, that would be a very Keck W moment. TheShy already getting very aggressive and hitting level 2 first. Gives him a decent health trade into Breathe Rumble here. Looking at some early pathing options here, more than likely it'll just be full clears from both Poppy and a Pantheon, but with how chunked bottom lane is starting to become... Oh, actually, well, they're pathing towards top side. With how chunked top lane is becoming...
Yeah?
do we see some aggressive action from
I
Wei?
think Wei is going to be really aggressive towards his jungle camps, and then he's going to realize that TheShy's wave is bouncing away from him, and he's going to go towards the bottom side and just get the scuttle that spawns down there. Maybe there's a little bit of action here, but the early wards from IG were pretty smart. Tian got a single ward down onto Wei's Raptors, but didn't spot the Pantheon there. And the vision that they currently have from Invictus is making it very easy to spot out this Poppy if she's going to play aggressive on top side.
Very true. Tian is going to at least be in the area to help give cover over to Breathe and Xiaohu if they want to get aggressive. But as you called out, the ward does spot Tian's position. But they also see Wei with a ward of their own trying to now look for the Scuttle Crab, and Tian knows that he cannot outbeat an Empowered Comet Spear, especially with the execute.
Wei is so smart here. He has to go top here. He has to cover this because Tian is going to go for the dive. Exhaust available here for TheShy.
Steadfast Presence blocks the dash from TheShy, and he knows that he is cooked. It's first blood for Tian's Poppy.
Wow. Double Scuttle here potentially for Wei. Wei, just move. Yep. Do not care about the top lane wave. TheShy's going to TP back. He misses out on a large portion of golden experience, so down 10 CS already versus this Rumble. Some of the changes to Gwen not too long ago, taking some HP away from her, and obviously the armor as well. Not too impactful, the armor one, but makes matchups like these. And we saw the evolution of this matchup really this year with taking things like the Phase Rush for the Rumble and the Exhaust for the Gwen.
Oh my...
What?
That was insane, Bard Q. This guy does have a World Championship skin for this character, if I'm not mistaken. He's not using it, but he does Bard mechanics.
Keria?
Keria has one, but also Crisp has one too, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess he does. It must suck then. That's why he's using this one.
Oh no!
I thought Chris was Leona.
No. We can verify another time. We've got supports in the mid lane, or at least Meiko now trying to answer and make up for the fact that Chris roamed into the mid lane. Tian just body blocking and making sure that Xiaohu does not get caught out here. Chris trying to at least leash these Raptor camps, saying, "Yo, you wanna take these chickens?" And Meiko walks up and says, "Please don't. Those are my junglers."
Yeah, please. I don't want the. Please. All right. That's fine. You just take my camps. Well, all in all, Wei gets double scuttle here, and with the trade of where these lanes are at right now, I actually think it's a really decent spot for IG. Like, it's Gwen by herself, so she's able to farm. Meiko did miss out on a little bit of experience here, but you would think versus when you're playing against Bard, a champion that usually gets a little bit more unique access to XP, he's doing fine for himself if you're Meiko on this Karma.
Yeah.
It was Thresh. It was Thresh for the FPX skin.
Oh! Alright, my bad, fam. I thought for sure that Chris had a Bard skin, but...
It is just Keria.
I gaslit myself. Oh, Wei is gonna flash W. He might be in range with the movement speed. Yes, he gets it, and he donates the kill. Actually, he still takes it in the end. Crisp is able to at least stop Rookie and Wei from being able to continue further, but there's nothing to be done. The kill has already been exchanged, and Xiaohu goes down.
It's like a paycheck. You donate the check to yourself into your bank account. So plus 300 going over to Wei on that one, and got the flash away from Xiaohu, which is very important in this matchup. When you have this ultimate, you can always try to look for something in the shockwave. It's going to be a dragon going over to Weibo, so not a bad look, and the way that these lane allocations are kind of falling, I still think IG are really happy. I mean, you're potentially now going to get a turret plate for this Sivir, and nothing really came of moving the Rumble into the bottom side. He's a level over this Gwen and going to hit level 7 soon, but I think functionally it's going to be as similar to Gwen having access to her ult.
See if IG can take advantage of that power window there for themselves. Xiaohu, no flash available. Decent flick on the way, but unfortunately for him, he threw out the shield, so he blocks a majority of that burst damage. Xiaohu does not have TP for another minute. No flash for another 4 minutes. We'll see if IG can try and capitalize on this window and continue opening and leveraging a snowball potential for the side of IG.
So they don't have priority in mid. Gala's currently holding this top lane wave, but he's not pushing it out, so IG are gonna have to fight through Fog of War. They have that single scuttle in the river that gives them complete vision here. And note the teleport difference. Because Breathe used his a little bit later on, or a little bit earlier to this point, he will not be able to match this. And Gwen, if he really wants to, can drop this wave, teleport for the play, and become a huge nuisance and make a numbers advantage for IG.
Tian does hit level 6 here, so he has to keep his verdict available if he wants to try and punt away IG members from securing these grubs. Chris trying to see if he can threaten Gala on the left side. He's isolated from the rest of IG's team. Xiaohu looking for the Weaver's Wall. Doesn't find them in the pincer. Seismic flick onto Wei. Gets blocked by the steadfast presence. Keep a verdict just for an additional knockup. And IG might just be cooked here in the river. Meiko falls first. Wei's on the wrong side of the tracks. And Weibo Gaming are going to start coming away with a huge advantage in the early game.
3 kills. They got 1 grub there for IG. I needed to see it back, but I'm almost certain that Meiko baited the rest of his team here. Because he tried to find the tether onto the Poppy or onto Crisp, they thought maybe they could try to turn. We'll take a look back in this replay. A great wall from Xiaohu segments the rest of this team. Sivir's nowhere in the area. And yeah, we try to go on to Xiaohu here. We gotta leave, guys. Breathe is the one that's actually coming up through mid, so an equalizer comes down, the Bard Q lands and gets the stun, and now you're just asking for trouble if you are IG. I think a pretty sloppy exit for a team that, we talked about it, usually isn't able to outplay their opponents mechanically, but always has had really exciting setups around objectives and knowing when and where they can kind of find space. So almost a lapse in judgment from them.
Yeah, usually a lot more intelligent decision making from IG is expected in these scenarios. Unfortunately, like you said, IG kind of bait themselves into thinking, oh yeah, we can make this quick play. All right. My bad, guys. We did not make the quick play, and now Weibo Gaming find themselves with a Feat of Warfare secured, 1 objective away from Feat of Objectives, and that would net themselves Feats of Strength. But IG, if they want to continue hyping themselves up and being confident, they know that the last time Weibo Gaming got a pretty decent advantage, IG still won in the end. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if Weibo can actually start using this advantage and close it out in a faster fashion.
So they don't know where Poppy is right now, but you can see there's pings going out. Like, Pantheon is probably on his top side. He doesn't have any bot side camps, at least from what they should know. And with IG having all of their flashes up, I think Weibo are going to need to be a little creative. Dragon spawns in a minute, and Chris now has the ultimate, Tempered Fate. So if they can find something, play on side lanes with an angle.
Powered stun right on top of Breeze. TheShy, it's a lot of damage with the exhaust. Should be enough for him to finish off
Wei
the kill.
dies.
Unfortunately for Wei, we'll go down to the turret, and here comes Tian looking for the collapse on TheShy. He's not going to be able to escape, and Tian's Poppy is starting to become a huge threat in this early game.
Just mistakes there from IG. They miscalculated their damage. Breathe is able to marinate them long enough that they can't actually find the kill without making the trade. So 2 kills, nobody's able to grab that top wave, and now Tian gets to steal away some Raptor camps. Potentially still Weibo can set up for this dragon, but they're going to need to get some resets in, especially for Xiaohu, who wants to be able to teleport back into this play and let for someone like Crisp and Light take control of mid. I think that IG are being a little too sloppy here, and 1 more objective, and that'll be the Feats of Strength going over to Weibo.
Now, Tian did just take a base. Wei is going to immediately jump onto Crisp. He has a Magical Journey, Cosmic Binding, flash into the Tempered Fate, and now is Wei cooked because Tian can find the wall slam. Deadly Flourish from Light opens up with the curtain call. Xiaohu is here. Wei's trying to run for his life and manages to flash over the wall just in time. That's a lot of tools expended by Weibo, but can IG still finish the dragon before Weibo get in position here? And it looks like they still will.
There's no reason for Weibo to ever be able to contest the dragon after they can't kill Wei. This is part of the issue I talked about from draft. IG, when they get items, are going to be very tanky. They're going to have access to a lot of HP. Meiko's going to give them shields. That makes it even tougher for Weibo to kind of punch through this. And now they use Curtain Call, they use the Weaver's Wall, and the Keeper's Verdict. Tian steals away a camp, but I just don't know how much this is actually going to get. Panda doesn't have ultimate, and it looks like IG, there's no protection for this dive. Wei's going to go to his camps.
Now, Wei said good luck. 0-7 to TheShy on Gwen. Seismic Flick does not find its mark there, but Tian finds the kill anyway. This is a 3-0-2 Poppy. And this just could be Weibo Gaming just trying to continue to harness that early game snowball. But now Bree finds himself in a world of trouble. No flash available. Thankfully for him, it's not going to be anything too dangerous, as Meiko is just a Karma. Does not have enough damage to lock it down.
Oh, this is why Rookie doesn't have flash and why Breathe is in this position. So, fine spot. You look at this. Xiaohu is getting bot side turret plates, so equaling up the gold that he's missing from the CS that Rookie has opened up. But as much as TheShy is suffering, Rookie is in a very, very good spot. Almost half a level up on his opponent, and if you get level 11 on this Orianna, plus some turret plates on top side, I think you're not too mad about your spot in this game. So you're seeing this also, thanks to having the Sivir, IG always have the ability to instantly clear this wave in mid lane.
Be able to respond and move. TheShy getting dove again by Tian on the Poppy. Xiaohu, because he was in the mist, not able to find the flick. Here's a TP coming in from Rookie. Shockwave could be used here, but Rookie just needs to dodge to keep his verdict. Not going to be able to. Tian is able to just punt him away like a fly.
Okay, but they need to go deep on this wave. Oh, Xiaohu and Tian are staying. Rookie's going to come over. All they have to do is just keep them here. Keep them trapped under this turret. Trade for first turret on the bottom side of the map right now. Because as long as they're here, they cannot be doing the Herald that's up in 30 seconds. And they can make the rotation afterwards when TheShy fixes this top wave.
Where's he going? Oh, he's going mid? Light? He has flash and barrier. Gets the flash forced out. Nicely done from IG. We'll see if they can punish in the next few minutes.
Good, good. Let's play the map fast. That is part of the the positives of a Pantheon. You can make one play on the other side of the map and then go to the other side. This is also why Spellbook is broken on supports, because you can do the same thing with Teleport. So I'm glad that they're thinking a little bit wider on the map here. And they still have these Hextech portals. It's going to be Weibo first to this objective, but there are some flank wards that are available to IG. No teleports available either.
TheShy with the steadfast presence is locked down, and they even had the tempered fate to see if he could at least neutralize the turret or prevent TheShy from getting away. TheShy has been getting cyberbullied this opener of the series, and that should be first brick going to the way of Weibo Gaming.
This is also maybe some payback, okay? TheShy playing against some of his former org, playing against his former teammates in Xiaohu, Light, and Crisp. He's like, I didn't think you guys were going to all be reunited. I thought you didn't want to play with Crisp anymore. And he's like, you know what?
This is for finals against T1.
Oh, no, dude. Come on. That wasn't even his fault, bro. He literally carried them to that. He's like, it's not my fault. I bodied Bin. I did my job.
True. Who's the jungler for Weibo at the time?
That was Weiwei, who played on LNG for like a split and disappeared.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Was tough. That's going to be turret going over on both sides, but feat strength completed already for Weibo. And Dragon spawns in 50. I feel like with the items that they're having, yes, Weibo can play. Oh,
deadly
definitely
flourish.
now.
Tian is able to lock him down. Keeper's verdict. Light looking for the curtain call bullets. One more in the chamber, and he doesn't even need to use the fourth one because he already took out Meiko using the third bullet. And we have Dragon spawning in the next 35 seconds.
What are IG doing? So sloppy in their setups and how they approach these objectives. Not at all what we've seen from them so far here in Split 3. They're going to make another trade. It'll be Meiko dying. TheShy's going to finally pick up a turret for himself, but it's not going to matter. He's still down 40, and Breathe is doing the same thing to his bot tier 1 here. So IG are going to try to get a little bit of gold where they can, but they're just getting picked out, and maybe part of that is Meiko's not on a traditional engaged support here.
I was definitely skeptical of the Karma. I can agree about the utility for the late game shields. but IG have to stall out the game long enough that we can get there. Now, to their credit, they're only down 2,000 gold. And the last time these two teams met each other, Weibo Gaming was not able to successfully close out the game in either scenario where they had an advantage. So IG trying to now contest Weibo on this third dragon of the game.
It's 1,000 here for Tian. Tian on this Poppy needs to be a big game changer here. TheShy just teleported into this fight. Oh, God.
Oh, no, the anti-synergy Tempered Fade blocks out a lot of the damage from the Equalizer. That's 2 ultimates just gone for free. And now IG should have uncontested control over the third dragon of the game.
Oh, God. They used the Herald in mid. So Weibo, they're going to try and grab this mid turret. That is 2 flashes from Crisp and Xiaohu. Weibo, what the hell is going on?
And TheShy pulls in Breathe thanks to being a shockwave ball carrier. Lo and behold, Alk, it happens again. Weibo have an early game advantage, and they start throwing it away as IG are now trying to punish.
Okay, Weibo, get the ref on stage. Pause. Let's get a pause going, okay? What are they doing? Like, we made one oopsie play. Okay, look, we didn't time the Equalizer plus the Bard ultimate. That's gonna happen. But the last 30 seconds from Weibo, incredibly puzzling. And now I have to watch it a second time.
Here comes the flashbang.
Like, okay, happens. They summon the Herald. They weren't able to get this play. You get the flash out from Rookie. This is fine. You get the ultimate as well. You did have to expend 2 of your flashes, but Breathe cannot be this far up. The exhaust is essentially a stun at that point because you're going to get a massive movement speed decrease, and he couldn't proc the phase rush anymore. So it's still a 2,000 gold lead. Weibo, the game is not lost off of one play. You still have many times to be able to play. You still have all of these shutdowns. 3-0 here for Light, 3-0 for Tian, and you get a flash out from Wei. So let's stabilize ourselves, keep our heads on straight, and let's keep playing some of these side lanes where we're winning.
Still big shutdown bounties in Deathless, Light, and Tian on your side as well. Just need to make sure that you can continue playing around their advantages, ensure that they are not dropping their bounties in these skirmishes so that IG don't get a massive gold swing for themselves if they find another opportunistic moment in this game going forward. Otacon has spawned. This is where Weibo Games can collapse in tragedy. Can they overcome this mid-game mountain, Alk? Can they secure this objective without anything going wrong?
So I wanted to see, because Gala has no ultimate anymore. He used it to get away from the Rumble. So no on the hunt for the next 45 to 60 seconds here. Flicker Blades now for Gala done, so he doesn't have a ton of damage, but he will have permanent uptime on things like his Boomerang Blades and the Spell Shield here. You see how Weibo are controlling space. Complete Fog of War here for IG. I love this toggle from our observers. And Xiaohu even gets a wave in on top side. They can cut any angle off with this Weaver's Wall. And you can kind of see that they're just trying to wait for more than one member to show up on vision from IG.
Tian being super patient, just playing off of the wave, pushing into the mid-tier 1. Weibo will guarantee more map control, more free access into both of these jungle quadrants, which will make IG's job and lives even harder. Gala potentially getting stunned up on the wall here. Keeper's Verdict lands for the knockup, gets stunned up by the Cosmic Binding. The Tempered Fate onto Karma ensures that there's no shield saving him this time around. TheShy is now in the middle of 3 people. Magical Journey takes a couple away. TheShy trying to do what he can in the middle of 4 people, but he's got no homies, he's got no reinforcements. Wei finally comes in for the Grand Starfall, finds the Combat Spear on to Breathe, but Wei will surely fall. He's got the shield. Can he get out? Does he have the movement speed? Rookie gets caught out by the Cosmic Binding, and now Tian is on the hunt for more. Slams into Meiko, gets the Hammer Shock for the shield. Wait a minute, Shockwave. That's a lot of damage on the Tian, but he gets the Thunder Sky proc for a lot of healing back on the Poppy. 4-0 and 7. Tian is probably having one of his best games of the split right now.
And no availability for Weibo to do the Otacon. IG, that was a team fight of all time that everybody at home had to watch. Yet again, let's go ahead through this. Gala doesn't get hit with the stun, but he still has the Spell Shield. So where does he block it? So he blocked the first application of the Q, but it tagged the wall behind him and still stuns him. That's insane. And then TheShy is just too far forward. We're going to see Wei come on through with the Pantheon ultimate, so they're going to be able to catch Breathe. But a mess of a fight, and the only positive thing I can say for IG is the same thing I said at the beginning. No Otacon for Weibo to be started because they dragged this out for such a long time.
We'd love to see what the state of the map looks like after this replay. It got super close too, right? There was so much damage from rookie Shockwave and full combo. But the Triumph into the Sun to Sky healing proc.
They get
IG are the first ones here. No way, they burned this down. No way, they burned this down. 5,000 HP, 4,000 HP. Weibo Gaming stall it out with the Tempered Fate. Can TheShy and Wei secure the 1600? Wei is able to get the Otacon now. Everyone just run for your lives. But Gala wants to turn on the jets and try and see if he can find some kills here. The movement speed from the On the Hunt allows him to run away, but now Tian is coming in and collapsing on the right side for the flank. Curtain Call separated their escape route, and Rookie's got nowhere left to go. Shockwave does nothing. Rookie forced to flash, tries to look for a return kill, gets nothing, and Weibo Gaming pick up the ace at 23 minutes.
IG, it is scattered. It is not the same calm, cool, and collected gameplay that we have seen from them time and time again. Otacon still goes over to IG, so they'll be nice with a little bit of the experience that they get from it, but it only barely makes up the differential that is happening in almost all of these lanes. Tian in particular is absolutely gapping Wei when we talk about influence and impact in this game. Tian is nowhere near this Otacon for him to find the smite, but him and Xiaohu are walking around and just completely tear apart. IG, they need the fights to be slow and steady. They need to take control of space with Gwen and Orianna, but there's no ability for them to do so, and there's no engage from them, something that they were lacking from this draft.
Meanwhile, pitcher-in-pitcher, a lot of commotion into the bottom quadrant of IG's jungle. Meiko gets blowed up, and Wei gets slammed into the wall. Light now 7-0-5 on the Jhin, about to complete his third item of the game. This Jhin has been unaffected, unpressured by IG, and he is able to just rock out so much damage. This is now a 6,000 gold advantage, almost 7,000 gold advantage for Weibo at 24 minutes.
Wei's like, okay, how do I finish my second item when all my jungle camps are gone? 2 turrets, mid tier 2, bottom lane tier 2, the dragon as well, so kind of a saving grace for IG that they were able to grab at least 2 of them right now. So Weibo are not already on soul point, or even worse. Kind of silver linings, if we're talking about positives here for IG, you do have a Sivir who eventually will just be able to be a hyper carry and just clear through all of these waves. We look at items, and I'm looking at how Weibo have been able to kind of structure their team fights. Feels like they are the team that is performing a lot better so far in this game number 1, especially when we look at not just the bottom lane, but Tian in particular, who's been under some fire when we talk about both of these junglers.
Yeah. And if we were to take nameplates off, Alk, I would already be calling the game for Weibo's advantage. They are so far ahead, it's almost 8,000 gold ahead. But you remember the past series that these two played. Maybe they can close out the game if they get a series of successful picks here. Meiko does not go down yet. He is healing substantially off of the shields, off of the empowered W, but still in the end goes down. I am cautiously optimistic for Weibo Gaming's chances here, but just from the precedent alone, Alk, I have to see the Nexus fall before I start celebrating for Weibo.
Yeah, IG have won such incredibly disgusting games that they should have zero business doing so. Shy's gonna see if he can find the 1v2. This is stopping Baron, and there's a play in mid lane currently.
Dodges the seismic shove here, gets a decent amount of damage on Xiaohu. He is living for a lot longer than maybe he should be allowed to. But in the end, Weibo's mid laner and jungle duo are able to slay the raid boss in TheShy's Gwen.
That's the current call from Light, and the flash no longer available here for Wei. He used his ultimate and...
Meiko!
Oh, Meiko, we just spawned and we're dead again. Poppy should make her way over. It looks like we're going to go one more mid-wave, and then Baron being started here. Even with some of the fun games we've got from IG, this cannot be the game that IG wins. I refuse to believe it. I'm going to trust in Weibo Gaming here. This looks like a game 1 victory, and one resoundingly decided with how they've been able to play with their mid-jungle support.
Crisp even on bodyguard duty just to make sure that Wei doesn't do any funny business of looking for a cheeky Baron steal. It is secured by Weibo in the end. They have a 10,000 gold advantage. They have 2 dragons. They have a Baron.
The game is over.
The game is over. Should be over for Weibo Gaming. I refuse to say is until the Nexus falls. I have been completely hoodwinked one too many times by this squad from IG.
I mean, BLG got hoodwinked. Top Esports got hoodwinked. JDG in Split 2 got hoodwinked. One of my favorite clips of all time from us, where they go from base to base and somehow find it. That was incredible. But effectively, this game should be over. You can kind of see they're trying to play a little bit more aggressive. Rookie can just walk this one out.
Tian, he's forced to flash away. He's got enough movement speed and healing from the rest of his comrades to be able to bail him out. He was forced to flash. Now he's winding up the Keeper's Vert to see if he can punt away any members of IG from defending the turret. He gets 2.
Still got the mini wave,
Weibo cannot continue the siege.
This is the turret line now. Weibo, they need to find ways, and more appropriately, find numbers advantages where they can break open the inhibitor line, because these inhibitor turrets are essentially going to be the last bastion of hope for IG. With Sivir, with Karma, it should be incredibly difficult for Weibo to walk into an Orianna ball and feel comfortable. And with Sivir clearing all of these ways, Infinity Edge done here for Gala makes it easier for IG to exist, but there is a lot of advantages still available for Weibo. And part of the fact of why we're so trepidatious about calling the game here for Weibo is not just the fact that IG have come back from worse games, but just Weibo have not been the cleanest team. And with the shutdowns that are available, this 10,000 gold lead evaporates very quickly with a composition that has very little front line on either side.
If Light gets caught out, that's a 1k gold shutdown. If
Tian gets caught out,
that's a 1k gold shutdown. And immediately, the gold just evaporates like that. They're making the siege onto the bottom inhibitor tower. 2-man Tempered Fate. Tian is walking up, looking for the steadfast presence to keep them locked in place. TheShy buying some time on the front line, able to sidestep the seismic shove. Wei steps up. Tian getting dropped. He's compromised. He throws out the Keeper's Verdict, but no one can assist him for the side of Weibo. That's a 1k gold shutdown going into the pockets of IG. Can they continue the fight? Can they continue the base defense? They drop TheShy. Gala, Rookie, and Meiko have to survive so that Weibo Gaming don't end the game right here, right now. Last curtain call bullet tags Gala for half of his HP, but at the end of the day, IG are still standing.
Okay, Xiaohu just teleported into mid. They're going to push on this wave, open up the inhibitor on bottom side. The dragon has spawned for them, and after this wave in mid, what do Weibo decide? Do they want to hit the mid lane inhibitor turret? Remember, Rookie was pushing a top wave during all of this to see if he could get level 16. He gets it now, and he teleported back into this play. Breathe might get caught up, but there's no shockwave, so it's going to be a little bit of damage in the equalizer here from the Rumble. And Weibo are going to move into the enemy jungle, take blue buff after finishing the inhibitor, and grab themselves the dragon.
It is just astounding, even with nearly 11,000 gold advantage on the side of Weibo. The game is still hard as hell to close out from their position, and IG are making them work for it. Seismic Shove catches Wei, does practically no damage thanks to the power of that empowered shield. Crisp, is he in trouble?
Oh no,
Gets
Crisp,
canceled on the
please,
portal.
please!
No, Crisp, not like this. The Magical Journey's gonna carry him away. Magical Journey and Cosmic Binding at least stuns him up. TheShy caught in the Tempered Fate, but they drop Crisp. That's another objective bounty going over to the side of IG. I don't know where. Somewhere on the map, the minion waves are pushing in favor of IG, and now they can look for their 3rd dragon of the game.
Okay, Tian can be on the flank. He doesn't have flash, but he does have this Keeper's Verdict. It is all 5 and a shockwave here for Rookie. Equalizer's up as well, and it misses.
Wei secures the dragon. Objective bounty number 3 goes in the pockets of IG. Breathe cannot pull off the flank. He's forced to flash. TheShy now steps up in a 1v3. He's buying so much time. The needlework doing so much damage to the Xiaohu. He gets dropped. Tian is forced to step up. Light has to carry this fight throughout. He pops one alongside Xiaohu. Gala and Rookie now caught out.
Light.
This could be Light's moment. Gala trying to step up in a 1v3. The Deadly Flourish does not connect thanks to the spell shield, but Tian cannot close the distance, and Light is biding his time. Doesn't
he
have
can kill him.
Advantage. Pots Rookie. Gala throws out the boomerang blade. Cannot finish him off. Light has one more bullet in the chamber. Looks for Meiko. Pops him. Gets the double kill. But it's the boomerang blade from Gala that gets the headshot on the Weibo, I don't think they have enough time to finish the game.
They don't have enough HP, and they sure as hell do not have any damage to make it on through. Inhibitor might be the only thing that Weibo can get off of this. They're going to move themselves towards the Baron. Breathe spawns in 10, and they're going to have to reset for this. Ah, man, I know we were getting excited for this, Raafaa, but IG, they always make these games entertaining. A steal there with both junglers in the pit, and while it looks disjointed, a lot of the spells here canceled by Weibo. No equalizer to deal damage, the missed ultimate from Tian, the curtain call from Light's not able to deal any damage, and if Gala can sit and just right-click, you can see this Sivir, you can see the idea, but the range from this Jhin right now is becoming incredibly problematic for IG to deal with. So they need to win fights. They kind of need to win them fast, which is kind of antithetical to what Sivir wants.
And you can see how Xiaohu and Light got immediately conscious of how close they were together when the ricochet blades started coming through as they were chasing for the closing in. I mean, Weibo at least being able to consistently remind themselves, hey, let's not clump up for these Sivir ricochet blades. But why the hell is it so damn hard to finish off a team that is 10,000 gold behind? And the answer is just, this is how IG is, man.
Just Weibo Tings, bro. Just Weibo.
Well, it's Weibo and IG all combined, and this is the type of gameplay that you get.
That is incredibly close. That's the Banshee's Veil procced off of Rookie. Now, a lot of lanes are pretty even for the most part. There are item advantages specifically between our mid and jungle here for Weibo. Xiaohu and Tian having an advantage over their counterparts. A GA available here for Light as he has no flash. So summoner spells, I would say, slightly advantage towards IG, but Xiaohu's going to have access to his summoner spell soon. And when I look at these fights, Raafaa, what our audience needs to be paying attention to is these waves right now. Top lane and bottom lane pushing.
Looking for Gala.
Oh, no.
Gala gets caught by the Keeper's Verdict, but the Shockwave snags Light. Remember, TheShy can threaten him to pop the GA. Light gets a last-minute shield and healing as the Temper Fate buys some time. Gala's caught in it, but Tian could be the next one to fall as TheShy is pressuring through this left flank. Curtain call from Light, super low on HP, but still trying to fire bullets now. TheShy trying to threaten. Light able to pop the heal for the movement speed. TheShy goes golden thanks to the Seeker's arm guard. Breathe, still running for his life. IG, still pushing. They're still pursuing Weibo. How the hell are they doing this? Down so much gold!
They're gonna get the Baron!
Refuse to lose!
Oh my god, is Xiaohu gonna look for the TP here? They're calling, you can see the ping. Someone needs to go back from IG to clean up this base. They don't know where Tian is right now. And instead of finishing this with Gala on this Sivir, Wei is not up and available. Maybe they try to make a long chase here onto Tian and Xiaohu. The longer they keep them out on this map, a minute before the dragon spawns, and that'll be Soul for IG. We are seeing this entire draft open up the picture-in-picture of how Wei got taken down, but he stops Xiaohu from getting into this fight. The Baron's going to be started here for IG.
Tian is up, but Wei has also redeployed back on the map. He can easily join IG. And the fact that Weibo are so scared, they can't even contest the Baron until it's too late. Tian walks up, they get the Baron sound across Summoner's Rift, and IG have closed what was a 10,000, 11,000 gold advantage to now only 4 to 5K.
We get into a replay, 30 seconds on live right now before we go back, and there's a dragon on the map. TheShy is so powerful. He has reached the end game of this composition with Gala, with Rookie, and this Gwen. Level 16 Gwen is a hell of a beast to deal with. You see that Weibo are struggling without any main crowd control. It is just Tian who has to lock down members, and then you're maybe waiting for a Tempered Fate. Now we come back. Baron's still here for IG. Do they give this dragon up? It is not a soul available for Weibo. Let's just take some turrets.
Yep. Yeah, just pressure the mid lane while you have the Baron buff on your side, and this is where the superior decision making, the smart map play from IG can thrive in these late game scenarios, and where Weibo Gaming historically have crumbled. They have fumbled the bag because the pressure is now on them, the fact that they had advantage for the entirety of the game, but it's starting to look very similar to the last time these two teams met, as Tian goes aggressive onto Gala, but it gets practically nothing done. Tempered Fate locks down Gala, still has flash. There's the equalizer, but he flashes away from the seismic shove. Breathe loses nearly 30% of his HP in return, and now IG will turn to the dragon for Soul.
There is no flash available for Gala, and a lot of ultimates are missing. Tian's Keeper's Verdict has to be a game changer. He has to land it, and this dragon's already gone.
3k HP, Wayside sets the seismic shove, he secures the dragon, it's the soul for IG at 37 minutes. Tian overextended, gets caught out, and now Wei has the opportunity to make the comeback. Secured here, teleport from TheShy, looking to cut off light. GA, be damned, because that thing is not going to save you from TheShy's Gwen as he manages to find a flash, but TheShy should have one more dash, and here comes the Grand Starfall to make Light Star fall in the top side of the jungle. This Jin has been finally defeated for a second time, and IG are on the victory march.
Can they do it though? Baron still for 45 seconds. Talia can kind of hold. She'll have access to the Weaver's Wall so they can delay the wave, and a Tempered Fate potentially to even stop the turrets from going down. Weibo lost this game from 10,000 up and will have a gold lead when this game is over.
IG, all 5 strong, pushing into the Nexus towers. Weibo doing everything they can to hold the line, but destiny arrives all the same for IG. Run from it, dread from it. IG, take game 1.
They finished the game with 100 gold difference between these two teams. I don't know what else to say, other than maybe I have to make a revision to my statement. IG are not just the most entertaining team in the LPL. They're the most entertaining team of the entire world, bar none. I think if we really wanted to get like the most viewer-centric kind of match, IG versus Los Ratones. Let's just put that energy out into the world somehow. The viewership on that match would go crazy.
I mean, it's Kadrill's favorite team versus Kadrill's own team.
Yeah.
How that shit would do numbers, man. That would go astronomical. I want to rebrand IG as not just the most entertaining team in the world, they are the most tenacious team, at least in the LPL. I know usually that is something of a title we give over to T1 historically in their best, because T1 have been able to find ways to come back in the game, especially when you look at some LCK games. But man, how many times have IG now done this, especially in Split 3 out? What the
They
hell?
know which objectives they're allowed to give up, and Weibo didn't pressure them properly. That's a hard draft to move through, but for both teams, right? There's not like a traditional sense of engage from support. You have 2 enchanters, both of them doing kind of different things, but we got to see the apex of what IG's composition can do with this Karma and just running down your opponents and the amount of movement speed that this bottom lane duo brings. Tian was like 4-0-12, and this guy had 1,000 shutdown. And while, yes, it does go over to one of the members, IG were able to eventually come back. I just want to see the gold graph for this game, because I know that IG only won. I know the last 2 totals was 70,000, or is like 70,300 for Weibo, and then 70.4 for IG when that Nexus explodes.
If I'm Weibo, I'm so mentally tilted, I don't even want to play game 2, man. That is...
If you've ever queued up with Raafaa, you'll know he gets into game 2 and he's like, I'm like, hey man, what do you want to play here? And he's like, man, just lock me Lee Sin, bro. I don't care anymore. Let me lose in peace. I'm like,
I
okay.
mean, at that rate, I play Poppy. I give my team a monstrous early game. Tian is like 7-0-4 by the time we get to the 25-minute mark and securing the first Baron of the game. And that goes all out the window, trying to siege into the base of IG. We literally saw the same shit happen the last time they played against each other. IG backs against the wall. They're clearing minion wave after minion wave. And then they get one pick. They get massive shutdown in their pocket. They close the goal. Oh my God, that is disgusting.
I love IG, man. I love IG. There's no reason you can't love this team. You can hate the early games, but goddamn, they know how to cook. They know exactly which buttons they're allowed to press and how much they're able to give up. Look at the gold at the top right there. 70.3 to 70.4. They ended with 100 gold after that. Yeah. I love you, IG. Continue doing what you're doing here, because it's working. Because there's only so many times. How many more series before you're just like, I can't believe this team is 8-3. I can't believe this team is 9-3. I can't believe this team is 10-3. Like, eventually you're just gonna have to get with the program.
And did we not highlight how we were cautiously optimistic? We were like, nameplates off. At this point, Weibo should win. Weibo should win.
Oh yeah, that was my fault. I was ready for Weibo to win this one. I was like, there's no possible way, because IG have not shown in this game that they had properly understood how they were supposed to win with this composition. But things that I want us to note. I think despite all of the mistakes, Tian still had a really strong early game, but I feel like that was a little less. I really hate to take away some of this from Weibo, but we did see that IG just straight up mechanically misplayed a lot of the early fights, especially Wei. He was down 70 CS when we got like later into that game, and there was a 4-level differential with his team having the Otacon between him and Poppy. I think that should never happen, but obviously Wei's style is working way better for this team. Like, you're playing for your lanes, covering for Rookie and TheShy, and all you need to do is just be the guy that has Smite. And with Summoner Spellbook for support, sometimes you don't even got to do that. So, like, I'm really disappointed in Weibo. Like, you had a huge advantage in this game, and small things. We even cast our minds further back in the game, Raafaa. Do you remember Equalizer Tempered Fate?
Yep.
Like...
Yep. That was the first domino to fall. It was a tiny one, but it was the first signs of, Weibo are not clean with the lead that they have for themselves. And then TheShy comes in, scoops up Breathe with the Shockwave combo. Eventually leads into the Otacon play that they secure. Yeah, they all get dropped, but they're denying objectives away from Weibo. The Dragon stacking on their side, brilliantly executed. I think the best thing about this team is, even when they're massively down in gold, it's not just the tenacity that they show, but it's the fearlessness. And when they go for these do or die plays, they know that this is our only way out, and everyone commits. If they all fall on their face doing it, they pick themselves back up and they get ready for the next play anyway. And I don't see that from any other team in LPL. I really don't.
Just look at TheShy, by the way. Remember, he got so much early pressure. He lost the first wave and a half on top side. He gets another gank. He dies again. And he becomes the backline carry that we really were missing for a large portion of this game. So TheShy getting back in was really pivotal for IG. Just didn't get to see it from Weibo. I'm flabbergasted, stunned, a little appalled even at what we got from them. And now, Raafaa.
MVP.
MVP?
Is it
TheShy?
I mean, to quote one of the LPL superfans, you on Twitter, most useful 3-9 Gwen I have ever seen.
That's true. That's true. That is true. Again, TheShy, rightfully so, I think. He earned himself. I could have seen Gala making this one, personally, but I think TheShy was a perfectly fine and great setup from us coming out of that postgame. So, one more at least.
IG always delivers the bangers, and they always seem inevitable when it comes to coming back, even from the most disastrous early game deficits. 10,000 gold advantage, and it doesn't even matter. We're going to take a short break because we definitely need